Welcome students, welcome to the video class. Today we'll discuss three sections. One is Coulomb's law of magnetism, second is dipole moment, and the third one is uh, properties of magnetic field lines. Okay, let us start that first section, that is Coulomb's law of magnetism. So this Coulomb's law of magnetism is exact copy of Coulomb's law of electrostatic. Electrostatic रे आमे Coulomb's law पढ़ी. So this law is just the exact copy of that Coulomb's law of electrostatic. ठीक है. So in Coulomb's law of electrostatic we are taking charges, but in this magnetism we will take poles, magnetic poles. It can be north pole or south pole. And this is the poles having pole strength. This is M1 and M2. The poles having pole strength M1 and M2. Here आम कौन थिला charges थिला, तो एठी magnetic poles नहीं होची. It can either be a north pole or a south pole, and this strength is M1 and M2. And the unit of magnetic poles are, that is ampere meter. It derive करिया परे. ठीक है. So unit of magnetic pole is, that is ampere meter. And how would you, we have said that this monopole never exist. Monopoles never exist. But here we have taken two monopoles. So this is hypothetical in nature. This is hypothetical in nature. We take into account and find the force, and that force can be used to find the net force on a magnet. If we have the magnet number, the two or more, then the total force on the magnet can be found using this Coulomb's law of magnetism. So let us start this law. So it states that if two poles are taken and kept in a medium, two poles are taken and kept in a medium. So let us say we place a pole having pole strength M1. ठीक है. तो यदि हमें गोटे पोल रखिबा having pole strength M1, तो it will produce magnetic field lines. Again, it will produce magnetic field lines. Okay. So these magnetic field lines will travel in the medium. So it is the medium which allows these field lines to travel through it. That is called permeability, mu. Or discuss करें. That is, mu is the number of field lines allowed by the medium. If it is air medium, it is mu naught. So again we start. So let us consider a pole having pole strength M1. When it is placed in a medium, it will produce magnetic field lines. These magnetic field lines, so let us say this is an air medium. So let us say this magnetic pole is placed in an air medium. When it is placed in an air medium, so it will produce magnetic field lines. So these field lines will travel through the medium. So if they travel through the medium, it is the permeability of the medium which allows these field lines to pass through it. It is the permeability of the medium which allows these field lines to travel through it. So when they travel, they will travel a particular distance. तो जेतिकी डिस्टेंस से कवर करिए that is called the magnetic field. That is called the magnetic field of the pole. That is called the magnetic field of the pole. ठीक है. तो जदि सपोज आमे नियर टू दिस पोल आ गोटे पोल स्ट्रेंथ रखिबा दैट इज सॉरी पोल रखिबा whose pole strength is m2, it will also produce magnetic field. So let us say this. Choose. So there is an interaction of field lines. There is an interaction of field lines. This interaction produces a force that is called interactional force. That is called interactional force. This force can be attractive or repulsive in nature. That force is either attractive or repulsive in nature. If the same pole thibe, that is north north or south south, they will repel each other. If unlike poles thibe, that is north south, they will attract each other. They will attract each other. So this force is directly proportional to the product of two pole strength. This force is directly proportional to the product of two pole strength, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So I mean, this is, let us say this, the distance ta kon hobo, so let us say this is m1 and this is m2. ठीक है. Distance between them कौन होगा? Distance between the two centers. Distance between the two centers is the distance between the two poles. ठीक है. So this force is directly proportional to the product of two charges, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. तो यदि हम बाहर करिबा, तो we can say this force is proportional to, this is m1 m2 by r square. ठीक है. तो यदि proportional उठिले गोटे constant आसियो, that constant is mu naught by 4 pi. That constant is f is equal to, that is mu naught by 4 pi, this is m1 m2 by r square. So this is the force between the two poles. F is equal to mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square. ठीक है. Okay. The value of mu naught हम बाहर करथले magnetic field of current, that is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. So mu naught by 4 pi becomes 10 to the power minus 7. बुझिलो. Again take a revise करियो. First thing, we will take a pole having pole strength m1. This pole will produce a magnetic field around itself. Out there, we will take a pole having pole strength m1 placed in air medium. Any medium ही परे, तो आवन होगा air medium. We place it in air medium. So it will produce magnetic field lines. These magnetic field lines will travel through the medium. So it is the medium, it is the air medium or any medium which allow these field lines. So that is called permeability. So first of all, a magnetic pole, when it produces magnetic field lines, it will travel through the medium, that is permeability. तो जो portion से जीवो, जो पर्यंत the magnetic field lines will travel, that is called the magnetic field of the pole. यदि near आ गोटे यदि pole रखिबा having pole strength m2, so it will also produce magnetic, it will also create magnetic field. So there is an interaction of this field. This interaction produces a force. That force is either attractive or repulsive in nature. Same poles thile repulsive, opposite poles thile attractive. This force is directly proportional to the product of two pole strength and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. तो ये दिटा हम बाहर को F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square. And the proportional उठे वाले constant, that constant is mu naught by 4 pi. So the net force कौन होगा? Or the force according to this Coulomb's law, this force is mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square. Mu naught value जानिए, that is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. The mu naught by 4 pi Corey will get 10 to the power minus 7. ठीक है? तो सीधा ही लिखा है चीज़. This law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between two magnetic poles is directly proportional to the product of their pole strength. Product of their pole strength. And inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So that means force is proportional to product of m1 m2 by r square, or that is the proportional the proportional to uthi I will get a constant. That constant is mu naught by 4 pi. So F or force between the two pole strength is equal to mu naught by 4 pi into m1 m2 by r square. ठीक है? Okay, लिखिए दो बेटे जी. m1 m2 this force is directly proportional to product of two pole strength, inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square. और यदि proportional उठे वाले constant, that constant is mu naught by 4 pi. Mu naught is the permeability. That is important, discuss भी ହେଇଥିଲା. Mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, or that is mu naught by 4 pi is equal to 10 to the power minus 7. ठीक है? Okay, यहाँ पर guys we will do a question. Okay, the first question is, that is two magnetic poles, one of which is 4 times stronger than the other, exert a force of 5 gram force on each other when placed 10 cm apart. Find the strength of each pole. ठीक है? So before moving to that question, हमारा force आसला, that is Coulomb's law of magnetism, that is in air medium this force is mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square. But यदि हमें any medium नवा, this force becomes mu by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square, where mu is the permeability of the medium. Okay, it is that mu naught is the permeability of free space or air medium. But here यदि हमें in other medium रखिया or any medium रखिया, that हमरा mu आसिबो, where mu is the permeability of that medium. ठीक है? There is a relation between mu and mu naught. सेटा को ପରେ discuss करें in this chapter. Later in this chapter we will discuss this. ठीक है? So the question is, two magnetic poles, one of which is 4 times stronger than the other. So let us say this first one is m, तो second one कौन आसिबो 4 times m. Two magnetic poles, one is 4 times stronger than the other. ठीक है, तो गोटे m नेले आरटा 4m. Exert a force of 5 gram force. The exert a force that is 5 gram force. तो एटा केते हो 5 gram means 10 to the power minus 3, that is into 9.8. ठीक है, gram force. So this is this much Newton. And each other when placed 10 cm apart. So distance between them is 10 cm, or that is 10 into 10 to the power minus 2. You have to find the pole strength of each pole. Again, also question ta padha. Okay, two poles, two magnetic poles, one of which is 4 times stronger than the other, exert a force of on each other when placed 10 cm apart. Find the strength of each pole. So you have to find the strength of each pole, that is m1 and m2. ठीक है, तो force is equal to, that is mu naught by 4 pi, that is m1 m2 by r square. ठीक है, तो that is कितना इटा आसे 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 9.8 is equal to, यार वैल्यू कितना होगा 10 to the power minus 7 into one is m, another is 4m, divided by, that is এটা कितना आसे, that is 0.1 or 10 to the power minus 1 रो whole square. ठीक है, तो this is 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 9.8 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by, that is 10 to the power minus 7 is equal to 4m square. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा कटिला -3 -2 -5 तो -7 तो -2 रहिला, -2 ऊपर गले केते 100, so that is 4m square is equal to 5 into 9.8, that is 49 into 10 to the power minus 5 10 to the power minus 7 तो रहिला केते 10 to the power minus 2 ऊपर गले 100, तो 100, तो m square is equal to 49 into 100 divided by 4, that is 25. तो m केते होबो रे, root over करिवा, तो this becomes 49 is 7 into 5, तो m1 is equal to m is equal to 35 ampere meter, m2 is equal to, that is 4m is equal to 35 into 4 ampere meter. तो m1 is 35 and m2 is 140. ठीक है, तो two poles are, that is 35 ampere meter and that is 140 ampere meter. Next question is, two similar magnetic poles having pole strength in the ratio 1:2 are placed 1 meter apart. Find the point where a unit pole is, when a unit pole experience no net force. This is important, no net force due to the two poles. ठीक है, तो एटी कौन दीजिए, that is m1 is two similar magnetic poles having pole strength in the ratio 1:2. तो m1 over m, m2 is, that is 2m. ठीक है, are placed 1 meter apart. So they are placed 1 meter apart. ठीक है, So next is find the point where a unit pole experienced no net force. गोटे unit pole नबा कोठी रखिले it will experience no net force. Let the unit pole is placed x distance from the first pole. So the total is 1 meter. तो a to m2 to केते distance होबो, or that is 2m2, that is 1 minus x. Again dita pole hochi, that is m and 2m, place 1 meter apart. The question is where should be a unit pole be placed in between the two poles such that this pole will experience no force. ठीक है. Let us say the two poles are north pole and this unit pole now it is also north and it is placed x distance from the first pole. ठीक है. And यदि first pole x distance वाला तो second pole केता हो total distance minus x, that is 1 minus x. ठीक है. तो the first pole will experience a force F1. कहीं सब जगह नॉर्थ पोल नहीं तो नॉर्थ रिपल करियो तो इट विल रिपल इन दिस डायरेक्शन, नॉर्थ रिपल. तो F1 ए डायरेक्शन आसीबो. तो F1 केते होबो, F1 इज इक्वल टू दैट इज म्यू नॉट बाय 4 पाई. ठीक है. m1 m2 m into 1, m into 1, distance is x, तो x square. ठीक है. तो सेकेंड पोल मध्य को रिपल करिवो F2. तो F2 रो मैग्नीट्यूड केते होबो, दैट इज म्यू नॉट बाय 4 पाई into that is 2m into 1 divided by 1 minus x रो होल स्क्वायर. ठीक है. तो से कोई as per the question the unit pole will experience no net force. यदि unit pole ऊपर force किछि पड़िबो नहीं तो that means F1 equal to F2. If F1 equal to F2 then net force on the unit pole is 0. Okay. So as per the condition F1 is equal to F2. If F1 is equal to F2 the net force act on the unit pole. So F1 is how much, that is mu naught by 4 pi m by x square is equal to mu naught by 4 pi, that is 2m by 1 minus x रो whole square. ठीक है. ओके. तो mu naught by 4 pi कटि जिवो, x एडी m कटि जिवो तो रहिबो केते 1 by x square is equal to 2 by 1 minus x रो whole square. ठीक है. Or I can say that is 1 minus x by x रो whole square is equal to 2. एटा को एपार्ट नहीं गले तो आसियो 1 minus x square by x square is equal to 2, or you can say 1 minus x by x रो whole square is equal to 2. तो I can write, or we can write square टा एटी एपार्ट दो तो 1 minus x by x, और एटा भी एमती लिखिया 1 by x minus 1 square टा सेपटू धरि पड़ा, this becomes plus or minus 2, plus or minus 2. तो प्लस को नेकी गोटे करिबा, माइनस को नेकी गोटे करिबा. तो जदि प्लस नबा एपट लिखि दो. तो if I take plus, जदि प्लस साइन नबा तो 1 by x minus 1 is equal to 2. So that implies 1 by x is equal to 2 plus 1 कितना होगा 3. So that implies x is equal to 1 by 3. This is one value of x. ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ value ବାହାର କରେं। यदि नेगेटिव नबा तो नेगेटिव यदि नबा 1 by x minus 1 is equal to हम भूल को लेना तो this becomes plus नले इटा √2 आसीबो ठीक अछि स्क्वायर एपड गला √2 तो this becomes प्लस जदि नबा √2 तो एठी भूल करले तो 1 by x is equal to √2 plus 1 तो x केते आसीबो x is equal to 1 by √2 plus 1 this is one value of x ठीक है यदि नेगेटिव नबा तो this is minus √2 तो एटा केते आसीबो that implies 1 by x is equal to minus √2 plus 1 ठीक है तो x रा वैल्यू एठी नेगेटिव आसुछु तो एटा केते हबो 1 by that is 1 minus √2 तो x रा वैल्यू एठी नेगेटिव आसुछु एटा नबा नाही तो the answer is x is equal to 1 by √2 plus 1 तो the pole or the unit pole should be placed 1 by √2 plus 1 distance from the first pole or the pole having pole strength m and that is 1 minus 1 by √2 plus 1 distance from the second pole ठीक है